I want to talk about women's responsibility for their own sexuality. Women don't take responsibility as it is, especially in this day and age. But I want to talk about specifically for their own sexuality. They have a superpower, a very strong superpower over men. Men seek sex and they want it all the time, and women have it. Women have, and they are the gatekeepers, and so they have a great responsibility, which is why I burden them with the most responsibility when it comes to having children. When there's a single mom, it's her fault. I mean, of course, there's things like rape and whatever, and as small percentages, but the most part, 90% or more, it's the women's fault that they're in that situation. It's the women's fault that they chose a horrible person with whom to have a child, or to have unprotected sex, or etc., etc. So when it comes to these females who dress up slutty and go out and get sexually harassed at work, or verbally harassed, hit on constantly, it's the women's fault. They need to take some responsibility. It's the whole argument of, well, if she dressed like that, she deserves it. Well, yeah, I think so. You know, of course it's not her fault that the man acts that way. She can't take responsibility for his direct actions, but she can take responsibility for how she dresses, with whom she associates, where she goes, at what time of the day or night, whether she drinks at a party or a function, how much she drinks. Just, she has a responsibility for herself and her body, and she has that superpower, and she knows that. She should take responsibility. But instead, like all women, they paint themselves as a victim and expect society to fix whatever problem she has, or remedy whatever problem she has. Let's take, for instance, the Bill Cosby case. Whether or not it happened, I don't know. Most likely it did. It was never really proven in court. The only proof that we really have is the sheer number of women that came forward, even though some or maybe all were lying, but we don't know that. But say that it did happen. So these women went willingly to Cosby's hotel room, in most cases, in the evening or night, probably dressed to the nines, most likely drinking when after they got there. You know, they put themselves in that situation. Yeah, he shouldn't have raped them. I'm totally in total agreement with that. But you don't go to a very powerful man's hotel room at night or in the evening seeking a recommendation for acting or whatever they met up with him for. They should burden the majority of the responsibility. And I think that's where society falters. We see a woman in need, we see a victimized woman, and collectively we throw ourselves at her to save her. And that is wrong. We need to shame them and trigger that ostracism gene within women to change their behavior. Not by force, not by violence, but we need to shame them and tell them it's not okay to not take responsibility for your own sexuality. Now, if we do this collectively as a society, maybe things will change, but I don't see us doing that anytime soon. I want to hear what you have to say below, whether my approach is too harsh, whether we should put more burden on these kind of situations on men, or I'm right. I'd appreciate if you would subscribe, and I thank you for watching.